45 lakh cases are still pending in 24 high courts across the country. The startling data has come to light after an NGO Lakh, which conducted a nationwide survey, came up with these figures. Now, this report further states that the disposal rates of these courts have deteriorated over the years. The High Court in Gujarat takes nearly 9 years to dispose of a case. The High Courts of Rajasthan, Allahabad, Karnataka and Calcutta too are famous for slow disposal of cases. And our correspondent Shrija got us more details on those statistics.
A very recent study conducted by Lakh indicates the factor that, in fact, the judges spend most of their time especially doing the admin work, and which is the reason why across the country, especially in over 24 courts, still 45 lakh cases are still pending. Now, if you really go by this particular survey report, it clearly states that Gujarat is the highest, which means it nearly has 9 years of disposal rate of one particular case, and then it is followed by, we also understand, Rajasthan, which is 4.3 years it takes, and Karnataka High Court takes about 4.1 year. Orissa and Delhi takes about nearly 3 to 4 years to, in fact, dispose one particular case. Now, this has been conducted across India. This particular survey is what we are given to understand in nearly 24 courts across India, and this is what they were able to collate, saying that the disposal rate is really at the highest, and these are some of the states are the worst performers. Now, speaking to some of the lawyers as well as the former chief justices, now what they're trying to say is that this has been a perennial problem, and because the main problem over here is the judges spend half their time especially doing the admin work rather than disposing the cases. In Bengaluru, Shrija for Mirror Now.
This is a finding that we have from our database, and clearly Uttar Pradesh and some of the northern states like Gujarat are not performing, are performing much worse than the national average. Now, interestingly, this was a part of our larger effort to understand how the judiciary is functioning, and we had surveyed 45,000 households across the country to understand what kind of disputes they have. Do they have a dispute at all? And whether, if they do have a dispute, what modes of dispute resolution they actually adopt.
I've done a survey, broad-based survey in Bombay and in Bangalore, in which I asked cross-section of litigants. I said, would you ever come back to these courts if you had the choice? And I expected about 30, 40, 50% to say no. The answer is 100 out of 100% have said that they'll never come near the courts again. The harassment level, the expenditure levels, and the fact is that there's absolutely no guarantee that you'll get justice. And why is all this happening? Because you see that the entire system of appointments requires much to be done.
This is very long back. The former High Court, Supreme Court Justice V.R. Krishna said very specifically, justice delayed is justice denied. This is practically we are experiencing. And the lack, I think, as far as my available knowledge, for example, in our High Court, there are 62 quotas are there. Up to now, not even 28 has been filled, not even 50%. The first and foremost, this is the lack.